What is up, guys? Stark here. In today's video we are taking a look at the brand new game mode that was introduced into One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, and that is the treasure map. So this is a pretty fun event, although it is kind of annoying, but I'm going to go ahead and explain everything I can about the event. I have played it, pretty much all day, so I think I kind of got it down, but you guys can see my score here in the top left, so I have been playing it quite often. Anyway, let's just go ahead and talk about it. So this treasure map here is going to unlock this Mihawk for you, and he's a really good character. So as you guys can see here, for his special, he's going to deal 100 times character's attack and non-type damage to all enemies. If the captain is a slasher class, sets cruise chain multiplier to 7.7 or 2.75 for one turn, and double slasher character slots effect. So that's an amazing character. And then for his captain effect, he will boost slasher's character's attack by 2.5 and HP by 1.3. Slasher's attacks boosted a further 1.4 on turns where Black Blade Ultimate Swing is used. So he's a really good slasher character, and all you have to do is just complete the treasure map and get all the rewards, and you'll be able to max him out, no problem. So in order to do that, you just play the map, get points, and for each point threshold you get, you're going to receive rewards. So as you guys can see here, these are all the rewards I've already gotten. So you get turtles and you get limit break crystals, but these are unique only to Mihawk, so you don't have to worry about deciding to use crystals for another character onto this Mihawk. You're going to get unique ones that are exclusive for this Mihawk, and you'll get enough to max him out if you can get to the, I think it's 1 million point threshold. Yeah, 1 million point threshold, and you should get everything you need to be able to max this character out completely. Max limit break, all that fun stuff. I think the only thing that you won't be able to do completely is the cotton candy. I'm not sure how much you'll actually get running through it. It does give you some cotton candy, but I don't think it gives you enough to max it out. But you do get some, I believe, running through the maps and things like that. So it does give you a lot of cotton candy, but anyway, that's not really what you're here for. So you get a whole bunch of limit break crystals and potions and things like that, and that can help you limit break other characters. And then over here on the ranking tab, you can see your rank here on the top left, right under your name bar. Right now I'm currently ranked 796, so I'm in the highest league. The first treasure map, you got your league based on your pirate level, and that'll change going forward. I believe you need to be top 8,000 for the top league, so just try and stay in the top 8,000 and you should be fine, and then that'll carry over to the next one. And you do get rewards based on your ranking here too. So based on your rank, you'll get certain tier rewards and things like that, kind of like the Blitz battle. So definitely keep an eye on your rank and what prizes you're trying to go for. And then you can click this little tab here. It shows you everything else you get. So this first place gives you a ton of stuff. It's insane. You get tablets and things like that. That's a new item that's introduced into the game. These tablets are used kind of like socket books, but for the limit break abilities. So it's pretty self-explanatory here. So yeah, that's pretty much all for the initial setup here. Now I'm going to go do a playthrough of it myself. So there are 4 different mini bosses and 1 stage boss that you need to complete. And these are all the items you can drop in the treasure map. So we're going to set sail here. Now for treasure map, you have a different stamina bar. It's going to be a blue bar over here on the top right where your normal stamina would be. And you do this the same way as any other fight. You just use the stamina. If you run out, you can use gems to refill it. So the unique thing about this though is that you're on this map here, and you will roll this compass, and unfortunately it does that connection every single time, which is really annoying, but I guess that's just part of the game. So based on the number you get, it's like a dice roll, you just move that number of spaces, and there's different little icons and things that you can collect on each part of the map. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative, some of them are rewards, like the chests and the stars. Those are rewards. You can get all sorts of good stuff from those. Now you see these characters on the maps. These are the actual mini bosses, so you could fight them on the map, and then when you get to Mihawk over here at the end, you have to fight them all again. But if you fight them on the map, they will be a weaker version of themselves, so usually you want to try and take out as many of those as possible. So I'm going to go here for this Moria. I usually try and go for Moria and Kuma because I have an easier time killing Doflamingo and Boa. But sometimes, you know, I can get lucky and get 3 of them, and sometimes the map just doesn't work out the way you want it to. It's not a set map. I think there's different variations of it. And sometimes I can't get the ones I want. But anyway, we're going to run into Moria here. Take him out first. Now, the first time you do this is easier than the second time. And there's a restriction when you fight the bosses. Once you use a character, you can't use it again on any of their fights. But that does not apply to the fights you do on the actual treasure map. So keep that in mind. And all the glowing characters here are going to get point boosts. And then there's a list. You can see that on the home screen. It shows you all the characters that are boosted and how many points you get for that. Now, you don't need those characters. It just makes it faster and easier. Like, ideally, you want to get to that 1 million threshold to make sure you get the Mihawk and max them out. And those characters will be stat boosted. They'll have lower cooldowns, all the extra stuff if you want. It definitely makes your life a lot easier if you use them. So we're just going to run through here. The mini bosses are 3 stages, and the final bosses are 5. So when you start it off, they're really easy, and each time you beat it, it gets progressively harder and harder. So, you know, you kind of have to just gauge like what your levels are and what characters you're using. So maybe sometimes you'll have to stall longer than other times once you get to the later stages just to get your specials up. Most of the times you really don't need your specials for a lot of the earlier fights. Like, I'm almost at 500,000, so I'm about halfway done with the treasure map farming. And I don't really need to stall too much for specials. So the mini bosses do different things than they do on the actual boss stage, so I'm not going to talk too much about the mini bosses when I fight them on the map, but I will explain them when they get to the actual boss fight. Moria's down, and then you guys, when we get to the actual boss stage, you'll be able to see he'll have like a little gloom icon over him, which will signify that he's weakened. And it's definitely something to do. Like, it makes it that much easier to beat the boss stages. And like, it might not seem like a big deal at first, but once you get to the harder levels, it'll definitely be more beneficial to you. And here you go, at the end, you'll get mastery points, and this can actually like help level up your mastery for limit break characters. So that's a really cool feature as well. Alright, so we're going to continue here. Continue along the map. Now, each roll does take a little bit of stamina. Alright, so we're going to get a negative there. You can have 1 positive buff and 1 negative buff. You don't get to pick and choose. Like, if you have one already and you land on another one, it's just going to automatically erase it, which is kind of unfortunate. You should be able to like choose which one you want to keep. Like, if you land on something else, you can choose to keep the one you have or take the new one, but you know, that's just a small minor thing. That's not a big deal. Alright, so now we're here. Sukuma's down on this side, so I'm gonna run down here on this side of the map, and hopefully I can run into that stamina refill icon. So this thing right here with like the little meats and the rice ball, that will restore your stamina. So now we're going to fight Kuma. And for that one, we're going to use a Lucci team. Now again, it doesn't matter what teams you use on the beginning stages. It's not going to affect the teams you could use in the boss fight. But I just tend to use the teams that I use in the boss fight for the mini boss fights, just because it's easier for me. I mean, I wouldn't, like, if I had Buggy and stuff, it might be a better idea to use, like, a Lucy team with Buggy and Zoro for the extra, like, stat boosts. But once you get to the harder stages, like, you're gonna have to actually use the proper teams to actually beat the stage. You can't just run through and beat it with attacks at a certain point. And since this is the first treasure map, I'm not, like, too familiar with the strategies and things like that. But I'll figure it out as we go. So as you guys can see there, like, the mini bosses aren't that difficult, and it definitely helps in the end because the bosses will be that much weaker. And then, like, it's not just a little bit weaker; they're like significantly weaker. So it makes the end fights a lot easier. And you do get, you know, extra rewards and things like that for doing the mini bosses. Alright, so usually you can only take 2 off in one fight, depending on the map. And I hope we roll a 3 here to get that stamina refill. Alright, we got a 5, so we're gonna miss it. And we do get some treasure points though, so that's cool. I don't know what they're actually called, I just called them treasure points for the hell of it. Oh, my rank actually went down in the middle of this fight. That's fine though, like, as long as you're top 8,000 on the highest tier, you're fine. This is the only day I have off during it, so I'm definitely going to be trying to max out this Mihawk as much as possible. If I'm going to try and complete him in the first day. And then just casually farm the rest of the days just for like limit break items and things like that. Okay, so now we're actually on the boss. As you guys can see here, the Moria and the Kuma that I already beat are gloomed, so I don't have to beat them at full strength. But we're going to go ahead and do the Boa first, because she's the one that I can beat the easiest. So I'm using a ace shooter team here. Unfortunately, I don't have 6-star plus Usopp, so I don't get the bonus for that. So I just threw in Kizaru for why not. Now, any character I use in this fight, I cannot use in any of the other boss fights in this run. So you have to keep that in mind. And that's like one of the hardest things about Treasure Map. But overall, the fights aren't difficult. It's just finding 5 different teams to use with boosted characters and still being able to beat them consistently. So we're just going to stall it a little bit here, because essentially all we're doing is using Ace's specials, and we're going to wipe out the entire boss stage. Like, that's how easy it is right now. It's going to get harder as I keep going, of course, but for now, it's super easy. You just pop a couple specials, and you're good to go. Okay, moving on to the boss stage. It's just going to be Boa and a whole bunch of fodder units. So she will prevent you from healing and put up immunity. And we're just going to use Ace's special and knock her out. And it's like, she might survive with some extra HP. We could have used Boa to heal, but we're not at the point where we really care yet. And again, each time you clear a treasure map and you go back in, it's like all the bosses get, or everything just gets harder and harder. They'll get more HP, they'll get more attack. So just keep that in mind. It's not always going to be as easy as it looks right now for me. So we just passed the halfway mark here for our goal. So next up is Doflamingo, and for that we're going to be using a double Neko team. Now this one's kind of tricky because you have to kill both the Dofis in the same turn. I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't, I believe he revives another Doflamingo. It only happens once, but still you want to beat these as fast as possible. So Neko's really good for that. You're going to do, you know, that much more damage, and his special does a pretty good chunk of damage to the Int Dofi, and then you pretty much only have to deal with the Dex Dofi. So we're just going to make sure our specials are ready going into it, and then we'll have no problems. We only need Nekos right now. We don't need any other specials because we're still at the easy stages in the actual treasure map. You can use, you know, the Aokiji bike instead, but I just like to use this because I get the extra cooldown. So, as long as you don't have orbs on Neko, or I mean, like tandem or meat orbs on Neko, you're fine. And if you do, then that's a problem, but it's not gonna hurt you overall in the long run. Why can't I use this? Oh, I don't have any blocker empty orbs. But you can see how much damage you did right there with one Neko special. So we're just going to clear out these here. And easy as that. So I might actually just switch over and use his bike after that one. Like, that's the first time that's happened. But even then, like, I had a tandem orb on Neko and I still destroyed him. So now moving on here to Moria. Now these guys are gloomed, so it'll be really easy for me to get to beat the fight here. And the reason why I do this for Moria is because, now I'm not sure if this is just because he's a lower level or not, but when you do him in the beginning stages and then you fight him again in the boss stage, he doesn't come with the fodder enemies, I believe. Now that could change when you go up to the higher levels, so if he ends up with mobs, you know, that's probably why. Because I've noticed that they do slightly different things as you get higher up in the chain. So we'll see if he comes with the mobs or not. But if he doesn't, then it's super easy. You just pop Gear 4 Luffy special and win. So I do think I'm just gonna like eventually just play out until I literally can't beat it anymore and just get as much rewards as possible, because, you know, Limit Break's still relatively new, so most people don't have, you know, any items for it, and me included. So I'm gonna try my best to get as many Limit Break items as possible and max out as many characters as I can. I think that's pretty much what everyone should do. Like, focus on the Mihawk, get him maxed out as soon as possible, and then just limit break, you know, get limit break items and max limit break any character that you have. Like, you can just play them in the map and get their mastery points. You don't really need the potions. Yeah, he doesn't come with his mobs, just use Luffy special and wipe him out. So we got one more mini boss here, and then we'll take on Mihawk himself. Alright, so last one is Kuma here, and we're going to be using that Lucci team again. And once again, Kuma will be severely weakened, so it should be very easy for us to beat him. And he's going to blow away our units again. So that's why I like doing Kuma, because he blows away your units, so you're going to do less damage. So it's nice to go into the fight with him weakened. And you don't even need specials if you fight Kuma on the first part, so I'm not even going to stall, just going to run right through it. You can stall if you want and just use Lucci's special to do enough damage to kill him, but you really don't have to do that. So he's at 20% HP, and we're just gonna go ahead and destroy him. Alright, so now moving on to the actual boss. So this is going to be the Mihawk stage, and for this stage I'm going to be using a Cavendish Lucy team. Unfortunately, I don't have Lucy, so I can't use him. I don't have Buggy either. I decided I wasn't going to pull for Buggy because it's just, in my opinion, not worth it. I forgot you need to use 5 different teams for treasure mode or treasure map, so once I remembered that, I was like, you know what, it's not worth it to use Buggy. So we're just going to go ahead and find a Lucy friend, and this is really easy too. So we're going to jump in here with a 3.93 multiplier. Obviously it's not the highest I could get it, but it's good enough. I don't mind doing a few extra runs to get points. Like, I'm not terribly worried about my rank. I just want to get the Mihawk maxed. Anything after that, and I'm happy. I do want to max my Hodie's Limit Break, though. If I can max Hodie's Limit Break, too, that would be absolutely fantastic. So we're stalling a little bit here, because Lucy's special is a little bit high. Not, Lucy, the Luffy Lucy. It's so confusing. And I do tend to use Law Special on Stage 4. So on Stage 4, you're going to fight the actual mini-boss Mihawk. And then on Stage 5, you fight the evolved version of Mihawk himself. Overall, it is fairly easy. Nothing to worry about too much here. So Mihawk will do an HP cut, and I'll just use Law here to do some damage, get his boost. We're using Lucy for the orb boost on the final stage anyway, so might as well use Law on Stage 4 while we can. So moving on here to Mihawk, he's going to do the same thing with an HP cut here, and he's going to put up a delay, and like he's got a weird barrier. Like this little line right here is an extra bar of HP. It works the same way as like a combo hit or things like that, where instead of doing like good grades perfects, you have to do a certain amount of damage in order for him to actually lose his HP, which is kind of cool, I think. But anyway, Luffy Lucy here will completely ignore that and do a 20% HP cut, and then we'll use our Lucy and just completely murder him. If he does give you block orbs, you can go ahead and use Zoro's special and get rid of those, and then you use your other specials to kill him. And you guys can see there, like, Lucy is just so strong. Just completely destroyed him. And that's Treasure Map. It's kind of fun. There's a few things that I wish they would do better, but overall it's fun. I'm definitely enjoying it. I've only gotten one tablet so far, so that kind of sucks, but yeah, it's fine. So here we go. We're gonna get our final rewards for clearing it. We almost got we got like what, 80,000 points that run, so that's really good. And there we go, back to the home screen, and we have 4.5 days, 5 days to do this. There was an emergency maintenance, so they extended it, but you know, we got a few more items here to go. They do give you gems as well, so don't hesitate to spend gems if you need to. You get tomes and all these limit break materials, as well as the absolute manuals. So you're gonna get a ton of good stuff. Definitely max the Mihawk out. I believe he does come back, but he gets better the more you limit break him. And if you don't max him out, then he's really not that useful. So definitely make sure you do that. And like I said, you get the gems back. I mean, you don't get that many gems, but you do get enough gems back. You should get enough to be able to clear it if you're a high enough level. And yeah, it's a cool update. Hopefully they fix a few things in the future, but I can't really complain too much with it. I'm having fun with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of a longer video here, honestly. I didn't think I was going to talk for that long. But that's Treasure Map for you guys. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.